Picture this. Miami, bustling with life, suddenly gets even livelier with sightings of 9 feet tall shadow beings. It's a typical day at the mall, shoppers moving about when an unusual presence is felt. No, it's not a flash sale, but rather these towering silhouettes seemingly non-hostile, leaving the onlookers in fear and running for their lives. The descriptions are consistent. 9 feet tall, shadowy figures quietly moving about the mall. No confrontation, no communication, just a seemingly casual visit to a Miami shopping center. Now let's take to the skies. Reports of sightings on airplanes have also come to light, but as with Miami, no one managed to capture a clear image or video of these entities either. All we have are videos of single passengers freaking out, baffling passengers and crew who are trying to calm the lone passengers so that their flights can take off. Again, no hostility was observed, just one person's plea that there was something non-human on the flights and that everyone was in danger. From the bustling city of Miami and the high-altitude flights, we now take you to the quiet suburbs of Las Vegas. Picture a peaceful backyard where the extraordinary decided to pay a visit. A tall, ominous-looking being was spotted, a sight so believable that it warranted police confirmation. Unlike the shadow beings of Miami or the elusive figures on airplanes, this sighting was different. This entity had a form, a structure that sent chills down the spines of those who witnessed it. Yet, much like the other sightings, this being displayed no hostility. 3 locations, different entities, but one common thread. None of these extraterrestrial visitors displayed any aggression. It's as if they're just passing through, observing, maybe even trying to understand us, much like we're trying to understand them. What an extraordinary series of events, don't you think? But it doesn't end there. Now let's delve into the diverse universe of extraterrestrial beings. First up, we have the small grays. These are perhaps the most iconic, often depicted in popular culture with their large, dark, almond-shaped eyes and petite, slender bodies. They're generally known for their advanced technology and their, gray complexion. As far as we know, they're not overtly hostile, but they do have a bit of a reputation for abductions and uninvited experiments. If you're ever invited for a cosmic joyride, remember to read the fine print. Next up, we have the tall grays. These are like the small grays, but you guessed it, taller. Standing at around 6 feet tall, these beings are considered more authoritative, the leaders, if you will, within the gray alien hierarchy. They share the same insatiable curiosity about humans as their shorter counterparts, but with an added air of superiority. Moving on to the tall whites, or the Nordics as they're often called. These beings are humanoid in appearance, often mistaken for extremely attractive humans with their tall, slender bodies, blonde hair, and blue eyes. They're rumored to be benevolent, often seeking to aid humanity in its evolution. If you're ever in need of a cosmic ally, the tall whites might just be your best bet. Then we have the insectoids. These cosmic critters are, exactly as their name suggests, insect-like. With their exoskeletons, multifaceted eyes, and spindly appendages, they're enough to give anyone the creeps. Their intentions are as mysterious as their appearance. Are they here for peace, war, or just to study us like bugs under a microscope? Only time will tell. Lastly, we have the reptilians. These beings are humanoid reptiles, often associated with conspiracy theories and shadowy agendas. They have a bit of a bad track record with us, often wrapped up in stories of manipulation and control. If you ever cross paths with a reptilian, it might be wise to keep your guard up. It's important to note that these are just 5 of the many types of extraterrestrial beings rumored to exist. Each of these species, with their unique characteristics and intentions, paints a complex picture of the cosmos. The universe, it seems, is teeming with life far more diverse and fascinating than we may have ever imagined. From the curious grays to the benevolent tall whites, the mysterious insectoids, and the controversial reptilians, each of these alien species offers a different perspective on what life beyond Earth might look like. We may not know everything about these cosmic visitors, but one thing's for sure, they certainly make our universe a whole lot more interesting. Quite a fascinating bunch, aren't they? But where might you encounter these cosmic visitors? If you're eager for a close encounter, you might want to know where you're most likely to meet these beings. Let's start with the small and tall grays. Sightings of these beings are often reported in remote, rural areas, perhaps because these locations provide the perfect cover for their activities. They've been spotted in places like the deserts of Nevada and the forests of the Pacific Northwest. So if you're an outdoor enthusiast, keep your eyes peeled. Now, the tall whites or Nordics have a different approach. They are often associated with more populated regions. Many reports suggest they've been seen in the Nordic regions of Europe. It's almost as if they're trying to blend in with their human counterparts. A recent documentary also associates them with military bases. The insectoids, on the other hand, are a bit of a wild card. They've been sighted everywhere from the Australian outback to the Canadian wilderness. There doesn't seem to be a particular pattern to their appearances, which makes them all the more unsettling. As for the reptilians, they've been known to pop up in a variety of places, but some hotspots include the US Southwest and South Africa. It's almost as if they're drawn to places rich in ancient history and lore. Remember, none of these beings have shown outright hostility to humans, with the possible exception of the reptilians, but even their intentions are largely unknown. If you find yourself in the presence of these beings, maintaining a safe distance is always a good idea. You might also try communicating if you feel comfortable doing so, or even capturing them on film for the world to see. But what happens if these encounters take a hostile turn? How could we be prepared? In the next part of our video, we'll explore some of the strategies and defenses people have used in movies to protect themselves from potential alien threats. But for now, remember, curiosity is a great thing, but always prioritize safety when dealing with the unknown. While we hope for peaceful encounters, it's wise to be prepared for every possible scenario. After all, as the old saying goes, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So how does one prepare for a potential, albeit unlikely, alien encounter that goes south? Let's delve into some tactics and tools that movies have suggested over the years. First off, there's the classic frequency weapon. This method was famously used in Mars attacks, where the aliens were vanquished by the yodeling of Slim Whitman. The high-frequency sound caused their heads to explode. Now, we can't promise that yodeling will save the day, but it's worth a try, right? Next up, we have the strategic use of water, as seen in Sightings. In the film, the aliens are revealed to be harmed by simple H2O. So, if you find yourself face-to-face with an otherworldly being, maybe try offering it a glass of water first, just to test the waters, so to speak. Then there's the use of fire and explosions. These tactics are a common sight in sci-fi films, from Independence Day to War of the Worlds. However, we must stress that these methods are purely fictional and should not be attempted in real life. Safety first, folks. Biological weapons have also been showcased in movies like The War of the Worlds, where the aliens are defeated not by human-made weapons, but by Earth's bacteria. It's a comforting thought that our planet's natural defenses might have our backs. And lastly, there's the power of unity. Movies like Independence Day and The Avengers show us that when humanity bands together, we can overcome any threat, even from outer space. With all these options, there's one peculiar method that stands out. Now for a defense strategy that's hard to forget and even harder to implement. Picture this, a cinematic spectacle from the late 90s to early 2000s. Humans trapped in a field, aliens unleashed to hunt them. A chilling game of cat and mouse. But here's the twist. The humans discover a biological weapon that keeps the aliens at bay. And that weapon, dear listeners, is none other than human urine. Yes, you heard it right. The characters literally soak themselves in it to avoid becoming alien chow. A strange strategy, no doubt, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Can anyone recall the name of this film? It's been giving our writer quite the headache. If you do remember, please share it in the comments. Or if you have other innovative defense strategies against alien encounters, we'd love to hear them. Please like and subscribe for more videos on how to stay fearless and prepared in this wonderfully crazy world we inhabit.